Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. In today's video, we are working on week 10 of the full deck challenge, and our prompts today are vintage and brown splatter. I have a little stack of things here already picked out, and I want to try to use maybe some matte medium on this because my pages are vintage and I know that my brown splatter is going to soak into my papers. See my little dude, he hangs out up here on my phone holder, but I knocked him down yesterday. Anyway, so I have a little bit of matte medium here. Did I say that already? You guys are not going to believe this, but I have a raging headache again this morning. It is so crazy. This is Saturday. March something or other. What day is it? I literally don't know what day it is other than it's Saturday. The 8th. It's the 8th. Oh, clocks changed tonight, but if you see this on Monday, I hope you remembered and changed your clocks back. I just have some vintage atlas. I just have some scraps here. Nothing like super crazy spectacular. The pipe that I cut out of this guy for Hulda's pipe when she burnt the infirmary down. Some vintage music. This is vintage book page that I have cleaned a stencil off with. That's shimmery, so I have no idea what material that is. It was just in my scrap box. So we are just going to use a little bit of matte medium. My card's going to be very wet, and I am going to have to heat it dry. If you're new to my channel, welcome. A paintbrush would help. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. It really means a lot to me. I know I haven't been filming very much. I am really excited because last night was Friday night, and I did a collaboration video with somebody, and so that I'm excited. I'm not sure when that's going to air. It's in the editing process now. I'm waiting on that, but I think we had a lot of fun. We had 2 hours of content, so I'm not sure how that's actually going to be edited down. But anyway, it was just a lot of fun, and I'm really grateful for being able to do it. So that's all I'm going to say about that for right now. You'll have to stay tuned for that to get posted. And again, I don't know when that's going to be. I'm just going to stick it down. I'm not going to fuss. I'm just going to stick. I have to do the F prompts are supposed to air this week. I cannot believe it's already been like 2 weeks and we're ready for F. I haven't even looked in the Facebook group at the prompts. So probably by the time this airs, I will have pulled those already. Oh, I could just take it up the side there. Doesn't really matter. No. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying those. I have to say, I think so far my favorite card was E, but it turned out so grungy. I absolutely love that card. It was a lot of fun for me to make it. Stop saying Jody. Don't really want the word died. I have no idea what's on here, but it's okay. It's just for me. So we can say whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I really liked the E card. I thought it was a lot of fun, but again, it was all that grungy that I just love, and playing with the embossing and stuff really made me happy. So hopefully, if you're following along, you enjoyed that as well. Oh, wow. Yeah, so hopefully if you're following along, you're enjoying it as well. I do find that some of the prompts are really pushing me creatively. So anyway, I have to answer these text messages. 1 second. All right. Okay. My card keeps sticking to my mat, so it's actually tearing the back because it's just really wet with stuff. And oh my gosh. Yeah, lots of ums today, huh? Oh, that says Ohio on the back of that. I have no idea I don't remember what magazine I got this out of, but it is a very brittle book page or whatever it is. So we're just gonna gently continue to glue it on here. It's a mess, and that's all right. Some of these are messy, but I don't know what my carry forward is from last week. I haven't gotten that far yet. What was last week? Purple? Pink. Pink was last week. Word? Fabric. Splatter is not really carry forward because that's the prompt, right? So I don't know yet. And then I found these little grouping of stamps that I have clipped together. I'm not really sure why they're here. But let's, oh, there's a dinosaur. A butterfly, that could be carry forward, but that's not vintage. No. Oh, that's kind of fun. Lighthouses, those, oh, these must be ones I've pulled out for projects. They are, because there's a cat in here. Wizard of Oz. Okay, maybe the car. It's 25-cent stamp. That is definitely a vintage stamp. I think all these actually are. So I think I just want to, but that's going to look funny. I have my ticket in there already as one of my constants, and the postage stamp needs to be a constant. So maybe that's not going to work. I don't think that's going to actually work. And I just want something subtle in the background. So maybe we just find that blue design's kind of pretty. I don't even know what that says. Oh, here's a little one. It's a cute little guy. Yeah, that just kind of blends into the background. Boop. I don't even know what our focal point's going to be, and I'm thinking we're going to have to bring a butterfly in. Or a calendar, maybe a piece of a calendar, because this Tim Holtz piece is, or that's not Tim Holtz, that's Tracy, because that was the leftover bit. So maybe a little piece of calendar could work. Do I have a calendar accessible? I don't know, but it's just collaging some vintage elements on here for right now. So my constants are the ticket and the stamp. I need my pull forward from last week. And we're going to need brown splatters. And this is a Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay Van Dyke Brown. Was the acrylic ink carried forward from last week? I don't think so. So I was trying to look at my pull forward, and I have this little butterfly, but I don't think that it's going to be substantial enough. It's just an Artie Mays printable butterfly. And so I do have these, which I used last week. So, I mean, technically that would be an accurate carry forward by using the same thing that I used last week. I really wanted some blue, to pull some blue forward. I mean, to balance, but that's not the right color blue. So that's kind of my dilemma with this. I have these butterflies that I had cut on my Cricut, but they are not the right color in here either. And I don't know what I did with the box of them to go track them down. So I'm kind of stumped. I have a piece of vintage book cloth here, and I was thinking I might use that for some texture, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just hold off on that. So I was trying not to overthink this card. Right. So I'm floundering. Of course I'm floundering. That's a rub on. I don't think that will show. So let me see what I can find for that. And then I have got to get some water on my brush or it's going to dry hard. So yeah. I found my Cricut butterflies. So they're not the right color. So I'm going to try to change the color a little bit with this peacock feather ink, which is now a little bit brighter than what I want, but that's okay. It's just, that's one thing that is a good reminder even for myself, which I'm actually surprised I even thought of it today, if I'm being perfectly honest. If you don't have something that's the necessary color that you want, what are you doing? You going to jump up there? You can change the color of it by just adding a little bit of ink to it. Hi, what are you doing? Chloe just jumped up in my chair. And now I'm just going to go back over that with a little bit of ground espresso and knock that brightness back, because we certainly don't need a really bright butterfly. And this actually is very close in color to this, which is really cool. And it's just a little bit more substantial. And these antennas drive me crazy on the smaller ones. I just picked those off. They didn't cut very well, and that's fine. Yeah, that's better. It's not the same shade, but then I've got 3 different shades on here. And this thing is all buckled and crazy looking from the wet glue. So, okay, so I have this little piece of book cloth, and I thought I would use that just as a little interest. I don't want to completely hide my ticket. But it adds a little bit of texture on there. And then I'll put a gem on there. So now I'm thinking, before I do that, I want to do my splatter, and I'm going to just put a scrap of something over her face. I don't want to get splatter on her face. Here, we'll use her own hand to protect her face. And I have this, and I'm just going to put a small drop, maybe, on my, oh my goodness, on my mat here. And let's see. Sometimes, I don't know what it is about those little bottles. Like, I love them. They're so handy. Sorry, I'm hitting you. But they are sometimes hard to get open if they haven't been open for a while, which makes no sense because there's nothing on the threads of the bottles. They are just a little challenging. Okay, come on. I'm getting splatter where I don't need it. And I don't want to dilute my ink too much. I'm just trying to be frugal with the ink too. That's part of the problem. I put a very little on my, there we go. Not the biggest fan of the brown splatters, but for whatever reason, I tend to not do a lot of brown. Okay. So we have some brown splatter. I will ink around this whole edge, so I think that will tie the brown in a little bit more when we're done here. Yeah. And this napkin is getting all grungy goodness on it from another thing I did with inks and was like dabbing it up the other day. So that'll make good collage fodder later when it's dry. Well, when I get it to a point where I like it. So I'll dry this. I'm going to ink around the edges. I'll get this glued down, and I think I'm going to put a gold gem in there. Got to get that washed. I already said that. So I just have a little bit of that ground espresso left on this from doing the butterfly. I'm just going around that edge. And I'm kind of coming in more into the middle too. That background is a little too white in comparison with the vintage papers, and not getting a lot of ink on it, but do I have any scorched timber on this? No, it's dry. Sometimes, well, I haven't been in here creating, so that's, but usually I can get residual ink on my, off of my daubers on my project. Oops. Hopefully that wasn't loud. I just smacked the microphone. Oops. Okay. It just needs to be more. And maybe I'm needing a darker color to feel like it's pulling what I'm wanting it to do. I don't even know if I said it, but I hope everybody's doing well. You guys working on something that is bringing you lots of joy and happiness? I mean, I hope so, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, still not quite the right color, is it? And it's not really holding that. That matte medium almost is creating like a barrier around it. How many times do we ink around one card until we're happy with the color? But it's needing to be more framed than it is. And that's where I'm struggling with it. There we go. That gave it enough of a little bit of a frame on it. Lid. Don't need to be mixing my lids up on my pads. That would be bad. All right, so we just need a little bit of glue for this guy. Put this down. I'm not going to overthink it. I know my ticket is there. Get that glued down. And then where's my bling? I don't have that out. That's okay. I think I'm just going to use like a, I probably will use black actually to pull that black forward, pull that black in, out, up, something. And I just have bling like this because when we do travel this way, I can just take a few with me, because really in the scheme of things, when you only use one or two little sparkly bits at a time, you really don't need that much to carry. And it's not like I use sparkly bits like this all the time either. So it just adds a little bit more. I don't like the black. Okay. Oops, sorry. Whack you with my head. I guess we'll do gold. All right. And this, it gets tricky for me because I can't hold on to it to get it on there. It makes a mess. Okay. Give him just a little bit of a blingy body. I don't love it. I do not love it. Give me that back. What about blue? Yeah, and I think we need 2, which is not an odd number. I know that. Obviously, 2 is an even number, but with the size of this, I feel like 2 is the right size. 1 wasn't big enough, and 3 is going to be way too big, so I am breaking the rules and using an even number. Look at me. What is that? Where is that going? Okay. Twizzles. All right. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah, so I'm going to let that dry. I will get my prompts and everything written on the back of it, and it's going to be so cute. It's going to go under V for vintage, because that's the first of our prompts, so it'll go in there like that. So awesome, but I want to let it completely dry before I flip it over and try to write on it. So anyway, I am enjoying seeing your makes in the Facebook group, and I've been trying not to watch the Full Deck Challenge group. Sorry, I got distracted by a truck across the street. I'm telling you guys, I'm a hot mess right now. Anyway, I am trying not to watch the Facebook group because I'm trying to create without seeing them. And then I go and look, and I just really enjoy seeing everybody's cards. So I like the little pop of color on there. I think it's fun, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and yeah, I do hope you're working on something that brings you lots of joy. Bye.